Our first guest is widely known as one of the nicest guys in Hollywood. I can't wait to tell you why I know that is true. Henry Winkler treated me with such grace when I first met him, and I adore him. He is a legend. He is one of the kings of TV, and he is coming up, but take a look at his story. He's a beloved actor, author, producer, and director. Henry Winkler shot to fame with his breakout role as the iconic Arthur Fonzie on Happy Days. But during the 11-season run, and even after it ended, Henry had concerns, as he writes in his new memoir, Being Henry, The Fonz and Beyond.
I had a total bug up my butt about being typecast. So when I was out in the world, which was less and less often, I made a point about being Henry all the time.
After years of worry, rejection, and anxiety, Henry broke free of his earlier character with roles on new shows like Arrested Development, and the role that finally earned him his first primetime Emmy, acting coach Gene Cousineau on the HBO dark comedy series Barry.
I had been Emmy nominated from 1976 through 1978, but my tush never left the seat. Little did I know it would be another 40 years until my tush finally left the seat.
In his new memoir, Henry takes fans deep into his personal life and shares surprising stories of his difficult childhood, his battles with insecurity, anxiety, and severe dyslexia, and the wisdom he's learned over his 50-year career.
When I give talks these days, I say, your head knows some things, your tummy knows everything. I say it to kindergartners, I say it to seniors, I say it to everybody, because truly, it's the law of living. Listen to your instincts.
Let's give it up for the one and only Henry Winkler! Nice to see you as well. Oh, have a seat. Welcome to the Tam fam.
Wow, wait. First of all, thank you for your warmth. But I want to say, I don't know that I've had an introduction tape like that, maybe in my career.
Oh, God.
I almost did not make it out here because I was so interested in me. Oh, it was great.
It's also true. I mentioned briefly, we met December 2016. I was on the Today Show.
Yes.
And so often when someone walks in, they would beeline straight to the biggest name on the Today Show because that was usually what people did. You greeted everybody, you walked over, you locked eyes, and when I heard the title, The Nicest Guy in Hollywood, 30 years of being in this business, I felt so validated seeing you because I just felt, this is a great person, and I want to treat people exactly like that.
Wow, thank you. But I'll tell you, the honest truth is, I don't know so much that I am nice as I am joyful, as I am grateful to be on the earth. And I look at everything, I meet people, and I'm so amazed. And you know this is true. We're on a plane, we're on a train, we're waiting for whatever we're waiting for, and you meet somebody, and in the shortest amount of time, they are willing to tell you their great story. And you are then filled with these stories, and the stories are like building blocks to who you become. So if that's being nice, then
You take it. You'll
I'll
take
it.
You know, it's interesting you say that because when the news broke that you were writing a memoir, I DM'd you on Twitter.
Yes.
And you replied, which I was like, gosh, isn't that fast? I DM'd you.
Well, now you know that I have no life except for Twitter. But Tamron Hall Twitters you and tweets you answer.
In the DM, nonetheless. I DM'd you because you are the type of person that I always want on the show, someone who's willing to tell their true story, the layers of the story.
But I had to learn my true story.
And that brings me to the question I want to ask you.
Before I could tell you.
That brings me to the question. I struggled last night asking you about your childhood because you do radiate such joy. And the reason why joy is so important to you, I now understand why. Because in your childhood, because of Moses.
You know, watching you talk about your son in his costume, and I'm backstage, and you know, you can't hear it completely, but you can see your body, and you feel you're just so proud. You are so filled with Moses. It is so apparent, and you cannot know that until there is a Moses.
Well, but which brings me to the question I feel you are pivoting me from asking.
I'm not pivoting. I'm now I am quiet.
Well, because the question is, and you're using humor to do it.
Yes, I do.
Because in this book, you talk about experiencing tremendous verbal abuse from your parents.
Yes.
That it eroded your confidence.
Yes.
And I'm asking you about it because it is in the book. Because to become who you are, you got to start where things happen. And you talk about you were experiencing great success with Happy Days, and they paid a set visit. And you said it almost seemed they were finally proud of me. But the truth is, I didn't care. It was too late. They weren't proud for me. They were proud of me like a possession. I needed them to be proud of me.
I said that. That's so smart of me.
Well, I'm going to finish it because you said I needed them.
Okay. I promised I was going to be quiet. I couldn't keep it in.
I needed them to be proud of me when everything was so confusing and I was petrified and I was trying to figure out how to make my way in the world. I could have used it then. Pivoting back to what you said about my son.
Yes.
We assume or we hope that every child has that lift. You didn't, but you still soared.
Because I knew what I wanted. What I also realized, if you know what you want without ambivalence, if you know what you want with no doubt, then the way it is built on this earth, the way the world turns, is that your will is so powerful, and you just keep your eye on the prize and move forward. Here's the thing. I appreciate that my parents moved from another country, learned another language, built a life. I am grateful that I had a pretty good life. Yeah. What I don't reckon with, if you have a child, whether you know that dyslexia exists or not, whether you know whatever is going on exists or not, you see in front of you a human being that is different from you having a challenge. Your job then is to figure out how to help that person and not diminish that person.
And that makes this book also special. You wrote this book, you recorded the audio.
That was the hardest thing I've
ever done because of your dyslexia.
Yeah, in my dyslexia. You know, like people write a book or they read a book. Like Marion Ross's son, Jim, is a great reader of novels for Audible. And they do like 2 days. They read a novel in 2 days. They know me so well, they allotted me 100 hours. And it literally, when I sat down and I went chapter 1, I thought, I'm never going to get to the end of this book. Yeah. And then the man I worked with, Jim Kaplan, he said, I'm going to interview Stacy. And so Stacy is now represented in the book. And then she read her Audible.
In the book?
Yeah.
So this was the most difficult thing you'd face. You conquered that, and you did it so beautifully and brilliantly. You mentioned a man that worked with you on this. You just celebrated your 78th birthday.
I did.
You are still, by the way, and you look good. You're still on an emotional high of winning your first primetime Emmy, first Emmy, and the show Barry is so brilliant. Before I go to this commercial break.
Yes.
Because it's your birthday, you got a couple of surprises coming.
Okay.
The first one is a message from your co-star, Bill Hader. Oh. Take a look.
Bill.
Hey, Henry. I just want to say happy birthday, belated birthday, and I also want to say congratulations on your amazing memoir. I'm halfway through it, and I think I speak for everybody that it's beautifully written, and your relationship with Justin Timberlake was very fraught. And I'm reading Britney Spears' book. I'm sorry. That is not your book. I apologize. I will get your book next week. Sorry.